You've played it over and over in your mind. The crowd echoes throughout the arena. A chance to be champion. Dreams meet reality today.
Title game comes down to this. No time left. Got it! It's over!
You target a hot player, you go right to him. He has taken this game over. Tray table in the upright and locked position.
The Breslin Center in East Lansing today is a convention of goosebumps. Hearts are beating wildly because more than 100 Michigan kids are anticipating the biggest day of their young lives. They have worked countless hours for this day, this game, in this rollicking arena. Welcome to your Breakfast of Champions. I'm John Keating, joined by former Clarkston All-Stater, McDonald's All-American, Michigan Wolverine, and NBA standout Tim McCormick. The first of the 4 state title games to be decided today matches Marion and Covert, and one of the more impressive kids that we've seen this week here in East Lansing is a young sophomore named Scoop.
You're talking about Scoop Woods. He's the catalyst for this Covert squad. His game is outstanding. Only a sophomore. He gets it done on the defensive end of the court, not afraid to share the ball with his teammates. And it continued the defensive storyline. You see the great hands. He has a nice mid-range game. And if you're worried about him being nervous, absolutely not. Only a sophomore. He's the quarterback of the football team. He shows a real nice soft jump shot, and you like the numbers a lot.
His given name is Sydney at 11 points and 7 dishes in the semifinal win over Rogers on Thursday. 20 miles southeast of Cadillac is the hamlet known as Marion, and much of that town will be in attendance today. The town still basking in a rather improbable semifinal win over Bark River Harris on Thursday. They were down 19 points in the game and came back to win 74-70. And in a small town like that one, they believe that anything is possible.
It's kind of a unique situation because these kids are more than just my players. They come over to my house, we hunt and fish together, play football in the yard, watch movies together. You know, and sometimes there's that tough call between a coach-player relationship, but we handle that borderline pretty good. They kind of know who's boss, but yet, you know, we have unique situations where we're all friends.
Well, that family feel in Marion took a rather emotional hit this past week. With more on that story, let's bring in Shireen Saski.
Thanks, John. And the Ising family is here with heavy hearts today. On the eve of their semifinal game, Trevor Ising's grandmother, Kay, passed away after a long illness. Ising was very close with his grandmother, and he contemplated not playing in the game on Thursday, but then decided it's what she would have wanted. Trevor believes his grandmother played a big role in their incredible come-from-behind win in the semis and hopes she's looking over them today. John?
All right, Shireen, thank you. Marion is looking for their first ever state championship. Covert is looking for the 5th in their history. We'll get you started with a Class D Championship game in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we invite you to stand. And gentlemen, please remove your caps and join us in the singing of our national anthem. Featuring today, the Shepherd High School Choral Group. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
MHSAA Finals on Fox Sports Net are brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, making your future more predictable. By Wallside Windows, most preferred. By Bell Tire, nobody comes close, nobody's closer. And by Little Caesars. Back in East Lansing, John Keating with Tim McCormick and a cast of thousands. And now with the opening lineups, let's join public address announcer Eric Ofersek.
And now let's meet the starting lineup for this morning's game between the Bulldogs of Covert and the Eagles of Marion. For Covert at forward, 6'1" junior, number 20, Derek Watkins. For Marion at forward, 5'10" junior, number 4, Trevor Ising. For the Bulldogs at forward, 6'2" junior, 32, Jason Eberhardt. For the Eagles at forward, 6'5" senior, 40, Jordan Richter. At center for Covert, 6'3" junior, number 40, Cordell Madden. For the Eagles, center, 6'6", sophomore, 34, Justin Blevins. At guard for the Bulldogs, 5'7" junior, number 12, Nathan Fricky. For Marion at guard, 5'10", freshman, 25, Aaron Mitchell. The other guard for Covert, 5'10", sophomore, 34, Sidney Woods. And for the Eagles at guard, 6'1", senior, 33, Jeff Blevins.
Head coach Covert.
Marion comes in 19-6. Covert 23-3.
Today's officials: Pat Davison, Ken Wozniak, Mike Vernon, and our alternate is Jim Bain and Bruce Heater.
Marion getting set to take on the Covert team of Sam Cornett in his 3rd year with the Bulldogs. He's actually coached the girls team at Covert for the last 5 years. And Marion is coached by Dale Ising. As Shireen Saski told you in the Open, it was a rather emotional week. Still is for the family of Dale Ising. Road to the finals rather interesting. Brought to you by Little Caesars. You see Marion getting the chance to meet Covert with that 19-point comeback against Bark River Harris, while Covert knocked off Rogers from Detroit in rather pedestrian fashion. Covert very quick. Key to the game this morning will be Marion's ability to out-rebound Covert. That has Sam Cornett's complete and undivided attention early on as we get set to get you started for the first of 4 championship games this Saturday in East Lansing.
And John, in championship games, doesn't it always seem to come down to who can control the glass? Covert starting out man-to-man on defense. Gonna see that a majority of this game.
Jeff Blevins, he'll launch a 3. That won't go. And here comes Covert. They will push the pace most of the day.
You know, it's hard to question the shooting of these young kids, but to start out, you know the adrenaline pump is going early. And I'm not sure it's a great idea to come out, lock and load, and just start firing. Defensively, the Eagles will start out in a zone defense. They really want to try to encourage Covert to shoot deep.
Scoop Woods will run the show for the Covert Bulldogs. He's got it, free throw line extended. Down low to Cordell Madden, they're All-American. Scoop will launch. That bounces off. Rebound. Tapped out to Nathan Fricky. Fricky down the line. Inside, that won't go. A lot of jitters perhaps early, as these teams trying to get themselves under control a little bit. Playing for a game with all the marbles, a game that they've been looking forward to since they first began running racks last fall.
And John, to further elaborate on the importance of rebounding, you just said it right there. These kids have never played at a game this level before, so they're going to miss shots. Who can clean up the action on the glass?
Eberhardt hits to crack the scoring. Just under a minute in the Class D Championship game. Blevins almost picked off by Madden at center court. They're really looking to get Jeff Blevins going in this one. He's the senior. He's their leader. We'll detail this as we go along. He's gone through 2 heart surgeries in his life, giving him the ability to play basketball. Here comes Scoop Woods. Out of bounds to Covert.
Scoop Woods, an exciting young player, loves the 94-foot game. He told me that by playing quarterback in the district championship. He's been in big game situations before.
Joe Madden spins and hits inside. Into the teeth of the Marion zone defense. Quick 4-point lead for the Bulldogs. Foul at center court.
And the future indeed bright for Covert because their post present, he's going to be around. He's only a junior. There you saw Cordell Madden had 15 points, 6 boards yesterday. It's a big kid that really gets a lot of quality work done in the low post.
Ball goes inside to Justin Blevins. He's only a sophomore. He's Jeff's little brother, even though he's 5 inches taller than the senior, Jeff Blevins. Marion is on the board. Ball tapped away, recovered by Eberhardt. Marion staying in the zone. Madden baseline. He's got it.
Really seems like that's going to be the weakness of the Eagles defense. Covert seems to have found the left baseline early and often.
Cordell Madden over 1,000 points in his high school career, and he's only a junior. Off the top goes the shot by Trevor Ising.
Now, anytime you're trying to break the press, the last thing you want to do, John, is settle for the jump shot. It's got to be an aggressive mindset. We're either going to lay it up or set it up and run the offense, and that's a big part of trying to control the tempo of this game.
Tim, both coaches told me before the game that they're not sure what they're going to see from their kids early in this one. They like their teams a lot, but they haven't seen their kids play in a game of this magnitude yet, and they knew they're going to have butterflies.
Well, that's why it's so important. Both of these teams love the speed game, but in a championship setting, most times you're not going to be able to play fast.
Aaron Mitchell taps the ball away from Madden. He's only a freshman. Ising inside. And he's fouled on the way to the basket.
A very good idea to try to go inside. They had some early success going to Blevins, but they have not gone back to. Let's see if they try to explore their post game a little further.
Jeff Blevins in all kinds of foul trouble in the semifinal game against Park River Harris. Baseline shot by Jordan Richter goes. Jordan Richter, an interesting story. He's had that beard since Marion began their playoff run. Kind of like a hockey player, superstitious. He's going to leave it until the outcome is decided here in East Lansing.
I'm not sure I could have grown a beard in high school. I'm pretty impressed.
Battle inside between Richter and Madden. Madden takes it up strong. Cordell Madden off to a quick start.
And Cordell Madden playing the role of unstoppable early in this game.
He's got 6 points for the Bulldogs. Lob pass inside to Richter. Foul on the floor.
Notice the power game early. Shot goes up, good position, and he scored in a number of different ways, all mid-range jump shots, but Cordell has been very active.
Justin Blevins can't get it to go. And here comes Covert. Behind the back to Scoop Woods. Inside, Madden soars. But Mitchell comes away from the scramble with the basketball. Jeff Blevins, an NBA three. He's got it.
I was almost ready to say, yeah, that's just not a good. Oh, wow.
Great shot.
I tell you what, that's a deep shot. You don't see that kind of range in college basketball very often.
Another three. Up by Earl Jackson.
Hey, you hear the arguments all the time. Kids today, they only work on the dunk. They can't shoot the ball anymore. Forget that argument.
Not at this level, certainly. Stolen away. Watkins to Madden. Madden up strong. Blocked away by Justin Blevins. Running one-hander. It's good. Earl Jackson Gets the hoop and the foul, helping Covert to a 13-7 first quarter lead.
Second team foul.
Notice the interior work along the baseline. Jackson plays 3 and 4. He, along with sophomore Scoop Woods, are regarded as the top shooters on this Covert team. And he showed a beautiful touch. That's probably the toughest shot in basketball, a little mid-range jump shot along the baseline.
Here comes the coach's kid, Trevor Ising. On a wing to Blevins. Tapped on its way to the basket. Inside goes Justin Blevins. Youth shall be served here in East Lansing today. Justin Mahone into the ball game.
Really impressed, John, with the patience of Covert's offense to start this thing. They seem to be very comfortable moving the ball around and getting the shot they like so much.
The sophomore Scoop Woods bombs a 3.
I guess they're not nervous anymore, are they?
Apparently not. Butterflies have calmed down considerably. Loose ball, Covert comes away. Here comes Mahone to Jackson. He can't get the back. And he's fouled from behind by Jeff Blevins.
I'm a bit surprised. Gambling by the Eagles, and they didn't have the quick transition defense. A lot of times as a player, you're thinking to yourself, you know, he's going to make the layup. That's why you've got to hustle back and make sure you at least have a chance to knock that ball out of bounds. Jackson providing the nice bench spark versus Rogers Academy. Boy, he put up some big numbers, and what a nice benefit to get that kind of action off your bench.
18 points for Earl Jackson in the semifinal win. He's just a junior. He also is a quarterback on the football team.
So they've got 2 quarterbacks.
Indeed. Or has been the quarterback. I think he's been supplanted in that role by Scoop. Aaron Mitchell had ACL surgery while only a 7th grader. Inside to Richter. Tapped away by Matt. And here come the Bulldogs. Justin Mahone gets it back. He'll try it. That's a 2.
I was talking before the game to the Eagles coach, Dale Ising. He said, we're going to try to pack the defense in and encourage them to shoot from deep. Members of their coaching staff, I should add, made that comment. I'm not sure they're going to want to do that much longer.
Down 10 points to Covert, which is a place they don't want to be, but they're encouraged by the fact that they made the big comeback against Bark River, down 18 points at halftime. And so now 8 points, that's nothing to the Eagles. Well, Jackson will try a 3. That bounces away. Richter had the rebound. Cordell Madden slapped it out of bounds. So it'll be Marion basketball. It's been a game decided from Okemos. 3s all around. In the first quarter of the first championship game here in East Lansing, and Marion trying to figure out a way to slow down Covert at this point. 19-11 in favor of the Bulldogs. And the Blevins brothers have been something special all season long, and they're hoping that they've got some special left in them today.
And the great thing, they both told me that a big part of their game was playing in the backyard versus each other. And you notice there the block shot by Justin Blevins. All of a sudden, he's gotten a lot taller. He was a couple of perimeter players going against each other. Now you've got a big shot blocker versus a jump shooter.
Steve Yoel enters the game as Jeff Blevin gets a blow late in the first quarter. Stolen away by Covert. Here come the Bulldogs once again.
Well, how do you like the firepower of this Covert offense? They've already got up 18 shots. That's pretty big. That's like a halftime shot total for most teams.
30 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Bulldogs are content to take the last shot, or attempt to. Marion will let them take it in spite of the 8-point deficit.
Very big possession. A stop keeps this a single-digit game. A bucket, you're talking double digits, and from a psychological standpoint, that's a problem if you're the Eagles.
Earl Jackson's three won't go. Jordan Richter rebounds. And that's the end of the first quarter. Perhaps Marion content to be down just 8 after 1 quarter of play. More of the Class D Championship game when we get you back to the Breslin Center in just a moment. For this Marion team to stay focused this week as the mother-in-law of Coach Dale Ising, the grandmother of Trevor Ising, passed away, but this is exactly where Kay Williams would like her kids to be.
I haven't had the hard part. My wife's had the hard part. You know, basketball is a relief for me and an outlet, and I'm not even sure how we're going to handle the situation with funeral arrangements or anything. I know that my mother-in-law wanted me to be here, so that's what we'll be.
And Trevor told me before the game that his grandma was really an important part of his life. She had really suffered 7 surgeries that were termed life-saving over the last 3 years. And it's certainly just a devastating thing for a young man to go through, and then to keep your concentration on what is virtually a meaningless basketball game when you consider the loss of his grandma.
Word before the game that the funeral in Marion will be on Tuesday. The entire town has something to rally around other than just the basketball game. Inside goes Derek Watkins. And the ball will come up. Justin Blevins rebounds.
No turnovers in this game.
You like to see that, don't you?
Bit surprising. Well, maybe there's one.
You jinxed him. Trevor Ising and Jeff Blevins not on the same page on that possession. 19-11 ball game. Class D Championship game between Covert and Marion.
The biggest difference between these two teams so far, 7 offensive rebounds. Covert's really done a nice job attacking the glass.
Justin Mahone trying to get some attention. Ball goes inside. Jason Eberhard gets the roll. He is one of the juniors. Both these teams got some youth on them. They'll likely be back in the playoff picture again next year. But first things first, there's a championship to be won today. Jeff Blevins thinks about it, rethinks it, reloads and hits. Jeff Blevins with 2 3-pointers for Marion. Scoop Woods. Kind of a nonchalant, yeah, I'll take it. You give it to me, I'll take it. It won't go, though. And the Eagles look to make something happen. Blevins has the ball stripped away from him by Eberhard. Up court to Matt. Trevor Ising, a nice job of hustling back.
Now, who's the best shooter on this Marion team? Without question, Jeff Blevins. You had mentioned he has the 2 heart surgeries in his past. The last one when he was 12 or 13 years old. And that's the one that has allowed him to come out and play basketball.
He'll be attending Grand Valley next year. Sidney Woods tries it again, and it won't go again. And there's Jordan Richter cleaning up the garbage on the glass.
Any prominent alumni from Grand Valley State?
None that I know of.
What about you?
Well, I'm not so prominent, but guess I'm a proud alumni. Justin Mahone. He gets the blank and the foul.
Hey, that's already the 8th assist so far in this game for Covert. They only have 9 baskets, but a big part of it is started on the defensive end. Notice how they filled the lanes immediately. The delivery, the nice finish, very efficient start by Covert. A lot of contact, great concentration.
Justin Mahone was the point guard on this Covert team last year, and now he's coming off the bench as Sam Cornett and his staff quickly determined that Scoop Woods is going to be a pretty good player. 23-14 now for Covert with 5:50 to play in the first half. It's a different ball game at the high school level that we're used to seeing March Madness and the NCAA tournament. Some things to think about as you watch today's games unfold here on Fox Sports Net.
Big difference, obviously, the 8-minute quarters. No shot clock. Doesn't seem to be a factor in this game.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway. And number 24, Justin Mahone steps to the line. Kind of an interesting look today. They're shooting well from the field, but they did that in the last game too. In the semis, they shot 51%. But the biggest difference in that game, Covert turned the ball over 27 times. So far, they've done a splendid job protecting the basketball.
Little pressure now from Covert. Levins between the circles. Shot inside baseline. Rebounded by Covert. Everhard looks to push and then pulls it back out. That's Covert's MO, really. They want to run if they can. But they also like their half-court game enough to pull it back out if they don't have numbers.
All zones so far. You wonder if Marion's going to have to play some man eventually.
Blevins to Blevins. Blevins on Woods. He gets the bang.
How did you like the ability to hang in the air? Rather than going all the way to the basket and risking the charge, he was able to pull up. That was a beautiful decision in transition.
Marion is sort of daring Scoop Woods to take that three. He hasn't shown them for the most part that he can hit it. Mahone will try it. Madden rebounds. Another shot by Woods from three-point land. Justin Blevins has it go over his outstretched hand. Shot by Cordell Madden, who continues to be a force inside for the Bulldogs.
Hey, you can keep encouraging Covert to shoot the ball and hope for the miss, but if you don't get to the defensive boards, they're going to destroy you.
Discrepancy between the two officials. On and out of bounds.
Now, what we're seeing defensively, they're building a little house. It's right in the lane. They're saying, go ahead, we're going to let you guys shoot whenever you want. We don't think you can beat us from out there. But you notice one thing, that with the defense packed in, it allowed them to get out in transition, and there you saw the little mid-range jump shot.
Covert with her first bucket. Check that. Marion with her first bucket off a turnover. And Covert has 10 points after forcing Eagle turnovers. One of the concerns that Dale Ising had in the semifinal game against Bark River Harris was that his kids got down on themselves and were kind of sniping at each other a little bit. He said, that's not us. That's not the way we play. And they talked about it at halftime, but it came out with a renewed spirit and rode that renewed spirit to a date in the championship game. 28-16 now. Covert on top of the Eagles with just under 4 minutes to play until we get you to halftime. The Class D Championship game continues in just a moment. So sports news dedicated to Detroit's home teams at a special time tonight at 9:30 on Fox Sports Net. And among the stories, Drew Henson has made his decision. He will play baseball, giving up his football career and his Michigan career, or so it seems. We'll have details on Michigan State's march to Minneapolis and highlights and the reaction from the Wings and Rangers tonight at a special time, 9:30 here on Fox Sports Net. That's right after the Class B State Championship game from the Breslin Center here in East Lansing.
You're killing me.
He is bleeding maize and blue all over the table, is one Tim McCormick.
Give me a towel to clean this up. How can he do that to us? Drew. All right, let's get back to the game.
Marion needs to make a little run before halftime because Covert has the ability to get a team down and keep them down. Justin Blevins will try to get Marion back in it. That won't go. Push at the baseline. No shot.
John, a little surprised that we're not seeing Marion force feed the ball into Jordan Richter. He's the foundation of their inside-out attack. He's 2 out of 3, which is very efficient. And I've got to believe that as the game goes on, if they're going to have a chance to win, he has to be a big part of the attack.
Jordan Richter, one of the 2 kids on the floor with relatively new tattoos. Scoop has one. He has the letter Scoop down his arm, which was a source of some amusement for Coach Sam Cornett coming back from summer vacation. Blevins 3 won't go. Inside it goes to Derek Watkins. One of a handful of National Honor Society kids on this Covert team. And that is his most memorable moment for Derek Watkins, his induction into the National Honor Society. Been a starter for the basketball team for the last couple of years.
Early impression of these two teams. They both execute at both ends of the court, but if you put both of them in a track meet, it really seems like Covert, 94-foot wise, is faster than the Eagles, and that's been a big part. They've had a number of wide open layups in transition.
Well, there are some interesting cultural differences when you look at the Covert bench. Sort of kidding Sam Cornett about being a replica, the old TV show, The White Shadow.
I grew up in Ypsilanti in a low-income housing project, and so I mean, you know, it was an easy transition for me, and I think you know, they respect me, I respect them. We love each other. I mean, it's they're just a tremendous group of kids, and they've really accepted me, and even when, you know, some don't, they have.
The interesting thing is that people outside the basketball world, they don't understand that most of the time there are no color lines in basketball. Everybody's just a ball player or a coach.
Jason Everhart extends the Bulldogs' lead to 14 points now as we climb under 3 minutes to play in the first half. And now Marion trying to force some things, I think. Not taking what's given, but trying to make some things happen, which is the way that Dale Ising wants to see his kids play. It's just not there right now. Covert on a 9-2 run to open up that 14-point cushion.
And the offensive famine so far for Marion has been keyed by the good defense. But that's going to certainly help. They need to stay touch until their offense starts clicking.
Trevor Ising with a 3 and comes right back with a steal. Ising pushing the pace. He goes inside. It's blocked away by Jason Everhart. And back on the Bulldogs against a solitary Justin Blevins. He travels on his way to the basket. Trevor Ising, a quarterback and a pitcher in his other sports.
And here you see him at the good and the bad, taking it inside. He had showed us a little mid-range earlier. That was a good time to pull up before the shot blockers can get in there. Notice the pressure defense there, really overplaying the wings. And I'm a big believer that anytime defensively you can pressure the ball, that's when guys make mistakes. When they're in a comfort zone, they make plays. When they have pressure, they make mistakes.
I would think the key in a game like this is to not be too affected by the good or the bad.
Yep.
And continue to play. Keep your chin up and not puff your chest out too much when things are going well for you. That's blocked again. Everhart with a couple of blocks back to back. Scoop Woods to Earl Jackson, back to Woods. He knifes down the lane and gets the scoop. Ironically enough, his nickname was given to him by his parents when he was a kid from a movie that they had seen. But it's turned out to be rather apropos.
Nice.
He's launched his basketball career.
Nice athlete. Scoop's favorite player in the NBA is Vince Carter, and that's a move right there that Eric Cannon would be proud of. Notice the breakdown, dribble drive, a big part of the offense. Only one real shot blocker defensively for Marion, but that scoop came before anybody could converge and contest.
And remember, this kid's only a sophomore.
Nice kid, too. We had a chance to spend some time together. And he said, you know, I had a chance to play in a big game like this in the district finals this year. It's the quarterback, solid game versus Rogers. They played against Muskegon Catholic Central, and they got beat. And he said, today, I will not let that happen to my team.
He is the third generation of Sidney Woods to play at Covert.
Were there 3 scoops?
Well, we know there are 3 Sidneys. He is officially Sidney Woods the third.
That's the way we like our ice cream. 3 scoops.
Marion 25, Aaron Mitchell.
Aaron Mitchell back into the game. I mentioned that Aaron Mitchell has had knee surgery. And his coach told me he's basically still kind of a 7th grader. Since he had that knee surgery and missed most of his 8th grade year, and he's only a freshman. And another turnover is turned into another bucket by Covert. And there's a foul on the Bulldogs on Earl Jackson, which draws a smile from Earl Jackson.
Bulldog foul, Jackson.
It's very clear, no deception involved. There you see Sam Cornett, and he said that the biggest thing that he wants to do is establish his defense. The offense will automatically come, and it's been a really clear advantage for them. Just seems that Marion is not able to get their shots off like they're used to.
7th foul on the Bulldogs puts Marion in the bonus. 1-1 sends Justin Blevins to the line, and he makes the first of his 2 free throws.
Blevins, just like his brother Jeff, they both want to be trainers when they're older, taping the ankles.
There was a terrific moment in the semifinal game, not to harken back to that too much, but Justin Blevins made a big free throw for Marion and looked right at the bench and pointed to his brother Jeff, who had fouled out at that time, and said, "This is for you." So they are very close on a very close team.
Maybe he was talking trash and taunting him. You know how brothers are. You don't see too many brothers that are going to share a warm moment like that. We have to just leave it open for the viewers to decide.
Brothers in turmoil on this edition of Jerry Springer.
That was funny because talking to them earlier, they play one-on-one their whole life, and you would think that it would be pretty close, but Jeff has only lost to Justin one time in their entire life.
Jeff Blevins tries to get Marion back in it as Covert now has their big lead in the ball game, 15 points, 36-21 for the Bulldogs as we inch toward halftime.
Yeah, the problem, so far, Marion is a very good shooting team, but when they miss, the concern is that those balls act as long outlet passes and start the Covert fast break.
Especially the distance that Jeff Blevins is launching his shots. Trevor Rising blocked it as it was trying to be saved by Earl Jackson. And Covert will get the basketball.
You know, I keep thinking, I just mentioned the Covert fast break. There's been no thing covert about their fast break in this game. They've been right out in the open, right in your face. We're running on you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I think that's why Covert brings some swagger into the game. They felt like they could do that against this Marion team. Still perhaps a bit emotionally drained from their semifinal victory, the 19-point comeback. Under a minute to play for the Bulldogs. We'll see if they wait to take the last shot again. Scoop Woods will try it. Ball is rebounded simultaneously by Blevins and Derek Watkins. And Marion will get a last shot at the basket with 34 seconds to play until the halftime break.
Covert is just a very mature team. I really have enjoyed their performance so far, and they seem like they're capable of many different styles. They're very good half court. They've scored in transition, and that really poses a great dilemma for Marion. How do you beat this team? They're defensively very fundamental. They score. They have a nice inside-out attack as well.
Justin Blevins inside. Cuts the lead to 13. And a very lackadaisical Scoop Woods. Throws it over to Earl Jackson. And Woods will try it again. And that won't go. So Covert has pretty much had their way. They've done what they wanted to do against Marion, but don't count the Eagles out. History has indeed proven that.
I've got coach.
It's a 13-point lead for the Bulldogs at halftime. Let's go over to
Don't ask me any hard questions.
Shireen Saski.
Thanks a lot, John. And Coach, you got to be real pleased with the first half, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, we sure are. Once again, our main objective is to keep them off the boards, and we've done as best we could. So
a balanced scoring attack offensively. The fast break is working well. On defense, you're getting the turnovers and then you're converting them.
Yeah, we're trying to change up on them a little bit. You know, we want them to take a lot of threes so we can get some long rebounds and run. And probably the only thing we really got to take care of at halftime is we're taking a few too many quick shots. We want to work the ball, make sure that they play a little defense. We just don't want to come down and jack up some quick shots and you know, and not give them an opportunity to foul us. So.
How happy are you with Scoop's performance today?
Good, except for those quick threes.
Got to bring the reins in a little bit.
Yeah, we had a lot of those long timeouts helped me.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Stay with us. More coming from East Lansing as we are in halftime of the Class D State Finals. The Bulldogs with a 13-point lead. Don't go away.
There's loads of emotion in East Lansing on this day. Covert on top of Marion 36-23 in the first of the 4 state championship basketball games here at the Breslin Center. John Keating happy to be joined by the executive director of the Michigan High School Activities Association. Jack Roberts joins us. This has to be sort of the biggest day of the year for you. That probably the state championship football games. But to get so many people from the far reaches of the state together to celebrate high school sports has to be great fun.
This is sort of a cultural exchange where we have people coming from all over the state and actually clearing out the communities from which they've come.
Your association is dealing with a rather unique problem. Michigan has welcomed a host of Sudanese refugees, some kids who have great athletic ability, and you're being forced to deal with that situation more directly than you probably ever imagined you would.
That's right. Sudan is one of the places in this world where young people are being displaced because of war, and Michigan is one of the regions of the country that's trying to welcome these people and take care of them. We don't know the athletic ability of some of these students. We don't even know how old they are. We don't know what their academic preparation is. So the High School Athletic Association is trying to be lenient and yet cautious to give these young people an opportunity to play and yet keep a level playing field for all of the other boys and girls of this state who count on a level playing field and participation.
You're trying to stay on top of this as it just gets going, aren't you?
That's right. There have been several hundred Sudanese refugees placed in foster homes in central and western Michigan since December. We don't know how many more will come. We don't know how academically prepared they are or athletically prepared they are. But you can imagine having 24 new students into a Class D school, what that might do to their athletic program. We want to accommodate these students, but we want to be fair to those students who are already enrolled and counting on participation.
They're coming to a state where high school athletic participation has been a big part of this state for so long. Is it still growing?
Yes, participation continues to grow significantly, very much so for girls, still for boys. We're seeing a shift in what boys and girls are interested in, though. No longer the football, basketball, baseball, but lots of other things. And I think in the future, we may see boys and girls interested in sports that you and I had no experience with, but we watch the boys and girls play on their own now. You look at rollerblading and skateboarding. What does that mean for us in the future? I don't know, but we'll try to respond.
So those club sports become varsity sports at some point.
They can. You know, the skateboarding ramp outside our office is like the Sandlot baseball diamond I had when I was a boy playing. So we'll have to see if we can accommodate that in the future.
There's more to Jack Roberts' job than just hoops and football. Jack, thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day. We appreciate it. Let's go over to Shireen Saski now.
Thanks, John. From March Magic here in East Lansing to March Madness in the NCAA tournament to the big news in Ann Arbor, you can catch a full recap tonight on your regional sports report. Let's check in now with Bill Wixie.
Hi, everybody. Bill Wixie here. We hope you're enjoying the game right here on Fox Sports Net. But did you know that we are here 7 days a week with regional highlights, scores, and stories dedicated specifically for you, the Detroit sports fan? If it's important to you, we're there. And it's not your average watered-down 2 or 3 minutes of sports you get from the other guys. No, we got a full 30 minutes each and every night right here on Fox Sports Net at 11 o'clock. We call it the Regional Sports Report. We cover your teams no matter where they go.
I'm Mickey York at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Coming up, we'll have a complete wrap-up of last night's battle with Gonzaga, and we'll take a look ahead and see what's next for the Spartans. That's all tonight on a special edition of the Regional Sports Report at 9:30.
Thank you, Mick. And as he mentioned, tonight we're on a little bit early with the special edition of the Reach right after the Class B Championship game around 9:30 tonight. Then catch the Pistons games. They take on the Warriors from California. Our pregame show gets it going at 10 o'clock. Tip off at 10:30 right here on Fox Sports Net. But we're not all about the pro teams either. Sure, we talk Lions, Tigers, Wings, Pistons, just about every night. We cover the college teams and high school teams as well, like nobody else can. Like today's NCAA hockey action. The Wolverines in Grand Rapids as they battled Mercyhurst in the NCAA West Regional first round. Tonight on your regional, we'll have a complete game wrap and player reaction for you. We'll follow the Titans later this week as they travel to the Big Apple for their Final Four matchup at Madison Square Garden, and a complete wrap-up of the high school hoops game that you're watching right now. Who will be crowned the champion of each division? Fox Sports Net, the only place to catch all of the semifinal action today in their entirety. Well, we hope you're about as excited about the Regional Sports Report as we are. Don't forget our special time tonight following the Class B Championship game. And then tomorrow night and every night of the week, we're on at 11 o'clock. It's the Regional Sports Report. Be sure to check us out. More high school basketball action coming up in a minute. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you later.
Solid minutes of basketball for Covert in the books. We're at halftime of the Class D Championship game, and the Bulldogs lead the Eagles by 13. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, Marion's #1 goal in this game was to control the glass. Covert pounded them. They were +7 on the offensive boards. That's the big story to me.
Yeah, already Covert with 19 shots in the first half, a lower shooting percentage than does the Eagles have, but they've taken more shots, and that's led to, obviously, more points. And they're getting 1 for 5 from Scoop Woods from three-point land, but that's not really what they count on him for.
Well, that's right. If you want to know what happened in the first half, here's the scoop right here. Scoop was just dynamite. Let's enjoy the diversity of his offensive package. He made the three. The dribble drive was strong indeed, getting to the rim anytime he wanted to. There you see the mid-range game. And if you don't like the shooting, you've got to like the ability to share the ball. Big number in the first half. He had 8 assists.
Covert with state championships in 1965, 66, 1971, and 82. They're trying to add '01 to that list, and they're on their way to getting that, up 13 at halftime. We'll get you back to the Breslin Center with the second half still to be played in the Class D title game. More on Fox Sports Net right after this. Dale Ising has been a happier man in other circumstances. Right now he's alongside Shireen Saskin.
Thanks, John, but it's not a situation that he's not used to being in. You were down by 19 points in the semis. All right, so it's a 13-point deficit now, but certainly not where you want to be.
No, it's not. And the biggest thing that we didn't do that we wanted to do is stop them on the offensive boards. We talked about that all game long and then yesterday, and we're not boxing people out. We give them too many second chance points inside. With
the Bulldogs, with all the players that are scoring, it's so balanced. Who do you key on?
Well, we're not really trying to key on one person in particular. Number 40 was the one we really wanted to stop early in the game, and he had some baseline shots. Our biggest problem right now, besides the boards, is getting the ball inside on offense. We're stopping 30, 40 feet from the basket, and then we can't make our post-entry passes.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
John, let's send it back to you.
All right, Shireen, thank you. Let's look at the numbers now. The halftime stats brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance. Mr. McCormick, what jumps out at that page?
Well, without question, 2 things, John. Number 1, at the bottom of your screen, 14 points off turnovers for Covert. That's really an essential number because that means you don't have to run your offense. Also, when you look at the offensive rebounds right there, 11 is a huge number, +9. Really, it makes it so easy because you don't have to shoot the ball well. You can just go retrieve it and convert it, and there's good offense for you.
And that was to be Marion's game this afternoon. It's turning not to be the case, and we get an example of that right here. Back up and in for the Bulldogs. We'll get you back to East Lansing right after this. Well, the leading scorers have 8. Both the Blevins with that total, and Cordell Madden leading the way for the Bulldogs, who are getting great balance, and that's why they lead by 13.
And that's outstanding. Covert is on pace to have 5 players reach double figures, and when that happens, very difficult because you can't key on stopping one player in particular.
Nathan Fricke back in the lineup. He's had the 2 early fouls and didn't play much of the first half. he will help Scoop Woods run the show for the Bulldogs. And he'll take it inside, throw kind of a wild shot, rebounded by Cordell Madden. That won't go. And here comes Trevor Ising, the coach's kid. To get the Eagles going a little bit. He takes it inside, and it's put back up and in by Blevins. That won't go. And Covert comes back the other way, looking to run and gun a little bit. But as always, if they don't have it, they will pull it out and be content with their half-court offense.
You notice how soft the Eagles defense is. They're willing to allow a three-pointer basically any time that Covert wants to have that shot.
Ball goes inside.
Why don't we draw a semicircle? I'd like to do that.
Aaron Mitchell, just a freshman, running the show for the Eagles. And Nathan Fricky got a little too close to him.
Foul number 12, Fricky, his third, first team foul.
Now remember that the Eagles don't have their dauber down because they've come back from farther away than this and won. They beat Bark River Harris after being down 19 points and looked like a team in complete disarray in the semifinals, but really got it going, hacked away at that Bark River Harris lead, eventually won the game to get them here, chance to meet Covert.
And in that game, he only shot 38% from the field. They're around 50% in this game, so if they start targeting some of those outside shots, they're capable beyond the arc.
Cordell Madden spins inside. That won't go. Richter and Eberhard get tangled up. Scrambling for the basketball, and Richter's got that edge to him.
Yeah. Now, before the game, the PA announcer talked about sportsmanship and going out, forget that, this is a championship, get after the ball. And clearly Sam Cornett doesn't like the play. There was nothing wrong with that, though.
Sam Cornett giving the earful to Patrick McKenna, the official from Davis and nearest to him.
If you want success on the offensive glass, you better bring a manly effort. Sometimes you're going to hurt some feelings in there.
The key for Marion is not to try to get the 5-point play on every possession. Try to take what they can get, just sort of chip away.
Well, there's some sound analysis on your part. Don't go for the 5-pointer.
Well, on Jason Eberhard, his first. I think especially for kids at this level, they want to get it all back.
Of course.
At one crack.
Trying to get that touchdown. But you do need the maturity. And I really believe that for Dale Ising, his team's an advantage because at halftime, you know that he referenced their semifinal game. Been here, done it, let's do it again.
They kind of had the approach that we've got them right where we want them. Yeah. We're exactly where we want to be.
You know, maybe not quite as big as the semifinal, but they're still capable.
Jordan Richter, excuse me, pushed off on his way to the pass. His second foul.
His second team foul.
And they cannot afford for anybody to get in foul trouble, but particularly their big guys, as Marion has felt that that's their advantage.
Interesting, slowing the pace here. Pretty good idea. These players are not used to playing in back-to-back settings. They clearly will be a little bit tired, and that's the reason you try to go inside. Tired legs don't affect the post game.
You can't discount the emotional toll that games like this have on kids as well. Emotional, but takes a physical toll on them as they play for all the marbles. Justin Mahone with a little fancy dribbling to get his shot going, but that won't go, and it's out of bounds.
All right, notice the last play on the zone. Watch on the weak side, 32 is going to sneak in. Now, notice, right there, you're going to see the cross-court pass along the baseline side. That's great, great eye contact, but you know that's the weakness of the zone. Everybody is always concentrating on the strong side of the ball. Somebody's got to drop down and protect the gap on the weak side.
Richter quickly picks up his third and earns a spot on the bench next to Dale Ising. 5 minutes and change left in the third quarter. Cordell Madden rebounded by the Bulldogs. taking it back up strong is Matt.
Well, if Marion wanted to change things, it was going to have to be done in the second half on the defensive boards. And we're seeing a lot of the same that we saw in the first half, and that is the covert defensive rebounding and also getting it done on the offensive boards as well.
Cordell Madden, a big part of the covert push in the second quarter on, as they look to extend a lead that's now 15 points in the Class D title game. In East Lansing in a moment.
That was the third on I.
Before the green flag drops tomorrow at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's NASCAR This Morning, bringing you all the latest developments from trackside. Get revved up for racing action with NASCAR This Morning tomorrow at 10 here on Fox Sports 10. We understand we're having some technical difficulties, some problems with our picture. Rest assured, we're working diligently, feverishly to improve the quality of your picture, and we trust that it will get ship shape in a matter of moments. But we understand they can hear us fine, which is good and bad, I think. Cordell Madden is the nicest kid I've ever coached, said his coach, Sam Cornett.
Tell you what, he doesn't look nice to me when he's in there battling with those elbows on the offensive glass.
While we have a moment, let's duck over and check in with Shireen Saski. Shireen.
Thanks, John. During the timeout, Coach Dale Ising told his Eagles, listen, guys, throughout our run in the playoffs, we've always stuck together. We've had success with that. That's what they have to do. They allowed just 2 points in that last stretch. He said, be patient. You'll get the ball and you'll be able to score. John?
All right, Shireen, thank you.
That wasn't the only thing that he was saying. I noticed he was giving the officiating crew an earful about, my guys are boxing out, they're jumping over our back. How about a couple calls? Bail out my rebounders down there.
And some of that, I think, is to at least let your kids know that you're in the game as well. You're all in the foxhole together and trying to somehow pull out the state championship and bring a trophy up to Marion along with the team.
Interesting numbers. 27 of the 38 points so far in this game for the Bulldogs have come off turnovers and second chance points. There's no way you win that game.
All right, the Eagles look to cut into their deficit. And generally that will revolve around Jeff Blevins. Skip pass baseline. Trevor Ising, but that won't go. And back come the Bulldogs. And it's scooped. Nice block by Trevor Ising. Now a little up and down action. Blevins with a three. That goes. And now all of a sudden the Eagles feel like, all right, we're back in this. One shot can make the difference for a team that's felt like it's been down a little bit. Now a 12-point deficit for Marion. Undaunted, Covert will look to add to their substantial lead. Sophomore Woods inside to Jackson. Scramble for the loose ball. Won by Aaron Mitchell.
Got to keep an eye on Blevins. He's the senior leader. Jeff is their best shooter. He's going to have to be the key.
Another big three. An NBA three. And his range is going to increase as we get later in the second half. 3:45 to play in the third. And all of a sudden, it's a single-digit deficit. 9-point lead for the Bulldogs. Scoop Woods, scoops and hits.
Oh, he's tough. He is tough for a sophomore. Forget that, he's tough for a senior. Anything you want, he gives you.
Blevins double-teamed on that possession. Cross court to Aaron Mitchell. Nice head fake, and Mitchell takes it to the basket. He can't get the roll, but he does get the foul. Jeff Blevins has given some confidence to the Marion Eagles and their faithful.
And Jeff Blevins is lethal beyond the arc. Mentioned he's a senior, he's a sharpshooter, and the great thing about his game, he's very patient. He's able to go ahead and get whatever he wants. And there's Scoop Jackson saying, okay, that's fine, I'm going to answer for my team. He's done that throughout this game. And I want to elaborate further. Jackson has 8, count them, 8 assists in the first half. Scoop Woods has been really good at distributing the ball.
One of the things that Scoop Woods is most excited about is that while only a sophomore, he's already received a letter from Stanford, sort of getting on their mailing list. He's a kid that Stanford may follow as he continues in his high school career. For a Class D student, that says something. A major program like Stanford, one of the elite teams in the nation, at least for the last couple of years. Justin Mahone, he penetrates through the zone, but he is called for either turning the ball over or traveling, depending on which official's viewpoint you prefer.
Uh-oh. Fall asleep.
Shot by Steve Yoel wasn't going to go, but Madden is called for goaltending because he pinned it against the glass.
What a beautiful full court delivery by Ising.
Now it's an 8-point lead. And Covert says, stop right there. They'll take a timeout. They'll take a 30-second timeout. We've talked about Jeff Blevins being sort of the leader on this team. He's got his arms around his team physically and emotionally, trying to prop them up a bit.
You know, you sit there and you think about it, and you know, these guys are your friends. I've grown up with these guys since preschool. I mean, when you live in a small town like that, you stick around, you don't move around. And, you know, you look around, you say, hey, these guys are going to be the friends for the rest of my life. And, you know, you can't get down on them.
So he and his pals have made a game of the Class D Championship. Down 8 points now. Covert's lead was 15 not that long ago.
And to give you an idea why the Marion players have so much confidence, Jeff Blevins has won 4 games at the buzzer over the last 2 years. So in a close one, they're going to look to him.
Home down the lane, but that's slapped away. And here comes Jeff Blevins against 2 Bulldogs. And it is stripped right back by Scoop Woods.
Man, Blevins is thinking, where'd the ball go?
Little brother Justin Blevins says, take that. End-to-end action here at the Breslin Center. Sort of a push pass by Trevor Ising was picked off by the Bulldogs.
He can't stand
Jeff
up.
Blevins from his knees has nowhere to go. And we've got a foul.
Notice the closure. Blevins gets ripped at the other end. His brother, the little brother, who's about 6 inches taller, with the rejection. And that's how brothers are going to take care of each other.
Although your theory is that your brothers will talk some trash to each other as well.
Don't know that for sure. But
makes them tougher anyway.
Hey, Justin told me the only time that he's ever beaten his brother Jeff one-on-one was a windy day in which his brother wasn't shooting very well. Justin takes care of the inside stuff, Jeff from the outside.
9-4 run by Marion has them back in the game. Jackson, he's cut off by Justin Blevins. And here comes Jeff Blevins, pushing the pace. Inside to his brother. He'll spin out to Ising. Back inside to Justin Blevins. Nice spin move inside against Cordell Madden, the All-Stater. Justin Blevins, remember, is just a sophomore as well.
That was the Class D version of Kevin McHale.
Or Tim McCormick.
No turnover on the play. Stick with McHale.
Oh, that's not true. 6-point lead for the Bulldogs. And the Eagles will look to cut into that deficit even further. The Bulldogs turn the heat up a little bit. A little tighter man-to-man defense now. Trevor Ising, a lot of hands slapping at the ball. Mahone's hands come away with it to Derek Watkins. And down. Under a minute to play now in the third quarter. And we have a technical foul called against Justin Blevins.
And the technical foul on Marion, 34, Justin Blevins.
Justin Blevins sort of asserting himself in this game.
There's the
against a very good player in Cordell Madden.
Up and under. Notice from a low and slow angle. Pretty good defense by Cordell. But I really feel like the underutilized resource for Marion has been their post game. And it's worth noting that a technical foul at the high school level counts as a personal foul as well.
Speaking of personal fouls, Cordell Madden with just one foul, which obviously is good news for Covert. Careful on that possession not to draw one against Justin Blevins.
He was clearly angered by some physical contact, wiping a little blood off of his lip.
So he'll taste that on a couple of possessions, the blood in the mouth of Justin Blevins. I think until he stops bleeding, he has to come out of the game.
Blevins bleeding.
Jordan Richter with the 3 fouls replaces him in the Eagles lineup.
I still want to keep an eye on Scoop. They've had very good luck being able to dribble against this zone.
Wow, what a rebound by Earl Jackson. Soaring. He gets the putback and the foul over Jordan Richter. Great ups by the junior Earl Jackson.
The Bulldogs have done a stellar job on their offensive glass. On that particular rebound, it was man versus boys, and he did a little breakdance move at the end. Really like the way this kid plays. He's very, very athletic. He's a clutch player. Sophomore year, he made the big game winner versus Hopkins. Had the real nice semifinal game where he had 18 points off the bench versus Rogers.
Marion had an 11-2 run, but Covert has answered with 6 straight points. And they're getting after it defensively. Blevins with a 3 and this foul. Sort of an awkward attempt to get the ball up, but it draws 3 free throws.
Let's take a look.
The foul is on Justin Mahone.
Notice the defense. They've got 4 guys within arm's length trying to make the triangle on him right there. Now notice the 1, 2, 3. If you get the ball out, you're able to get it over on the weak side.
Jeff Blevins averaging 17.5 points a game. He had 22 points in the Eagles semifinal victory. His aspirations are in order to become a trainer, to get married, to have kids, and go fishing.
Go fishing, I like that.
If you're going to do those 4 things, I think probably the correct order to do them in.
Yeah, but the problem is if you get married, then you can't go fishing.
Maybe not at the McCormick household. Jeff Blevins has a different idea. They're looking for blood. Somebody's bleeding somewhere, and the game can't continue until they determine who that might be.
I've got to believe the most likely candidate is Justin Blevins. There's a nice bruise going on there, but I don't see the blood.
34, Justin Blevins.
Luckily, their colors are maroon because they've got the blood-colored towels over there.
Jeff Blevins will get patched up. And
now, anybody that says that basketball players aren't tough, they put tape right on the skin on top of the hair. How is that going to come off without the pain?
Sound like you've carried those memories with you for a little bit, haven't you?
One shot opportunity.
10-point lead for Covert. Looking to add to it in the final seconds of the 3rd quarter. Cross-court pass to Jackson. His 3 won't go. Rebound Trevor Ising. And he's fouled under the basket.
Uh-oh.
With 2 seconds and change to play in the 3rd quarter.
Game management is so important, and Sam Cornett cannot be happy with that. The chance to extend a double-digit lead. All of a sudden, Marion now has the chance because look at that silly foul reach. There's no way. There was less than 2 seconds left. Now Marion can cut this thing to single digits with a prayer.
It's the 5th team foul for the Bulldogs. So Marion will inbounds the ball with 2.3 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Football pass down court. Oh! Wow, Jeff Bulis was on his way to the basket, but Scoop Woods picked his pocket. Jeff Blevins has made it a game again, however. Marion feels like they're right in it. They're down only 10 as we head to the fourth quarter of the Class D Championship game. Fourth quarter action still to come on Fox Sports Net. Fox Sports Net's exclusive television coverage of the Detroit Tigers at spring training continues Monday when they take on the Atlanta Braves. Join Josh Lewin and Kirk Gibson for Grapefruit League action from Lakeland Monday night at 7, right here on Fox Sports Net. Well, the road to this game by Covert was not easy. They knocked off #1 team in the state, Tri-Unity Christian, in the regional final. They beat the #3 team in the state, Detroit Rogers, in the semi, and knocked off the 4th-ranked Lenawee Christian team in the quarters. They're trying to put the finishing touches on their 5th state basketball championship in the storied history of basketball at Covert High. Jeff Blevins, one-on-one against 2 members of the Bulldogs. Justin Blevins will try it from the free throw line. Rebound of the Bulldogs. Cordell Madden looking for a call. Earl Jackson is picked off by Jeff Blevins. Jeff Blevins will launch a 3. That won't go. Rebound is Jeff Blevins. That won't go either. Justin Blevins with a foul. And he'll hit it.
The Blevins attack is deep and very aggressive. The time that they held the ball between possessions, estimate 0.6 seconds. It's catch it, it's gone.
The Eagles have some work to do. Down 8 points now. With 7 minutes to play in the game. Justin Mahone, nice fake. He'll put it up. That won't go.
We're seeing a lot of missed shots tonight. I believe it's worth noting these players are used to playing on 84-foot courts on their home court in high school. This is 94-foot. They're not used to it, and I think that they're going to be a little more tired than normal.
Not to mention 2 rather significant games in 3 nights. Rebound ripped down by Justin Mahone. 6'2" and 180. The muscle man on this team, says his coach, Sam Cornett.
Covert doesn't appear to have the same energy that they did in the first half. Are you sensing that?
Yep, absolutely. Scoop Woods will try a 3. That won't go. Well, he's not afraid to stay after it, is Scoop Woods. Ball goes inside to Cordell Madden, but it's tipped away and off Madden.
Hey, John, you can afford to not shoot the ball well if you hit the offensive glass. It's a big part of it, getting 2nd and 3rd opportunities, and that was all started right there by Jeff Blevins. Long missed 3. Justin Blevins has been very aggressive, and Jeff's going to take a little seat, try to get that 2nd blow. And he had that heart surgery, both of them, and he told me that he's usually okay fatigue-wise until after the game is over, but this extra 10 feet is not helping his cause at all.
And they make it a rather obvious point that they'll keep an eye on him after every kind of basketball activity that Marion has been involved in all season long because of his cardiac history. Trevor Rising has his pocket picked. It's Justin Mahone with a quick hands. Mahone dishes to Madden. Got it! And the Bulldogs answer to get their lead back up to 10. Justin Blevins now on a wing. With Jordan Richter back in the lineup. Offensive foul called against Justin Blevins.
Notice the help defense coming from the weak side. Always on the prowl. Justin Mahone trying to play in transition. Nice delivery. And there is Cordell Madden. And notice the last foul. Off arm, notice he knocked him back, little acting job, but that was all key because of the fine defense by Jason Eberhardt. They'd like to try to get the ball into Jordan Richter, number 40 for White, but the front on the full frontal wouldn't allow the post entry.
Derek Watkins out the top of the key as Woods goes to a wing. He'll take it inside to Jason Eberhardt. His wild shot won't go. He rebounds. Foul against Covert.
Anytime you see an offensive player that's strong that misses a wide open layup, Dale Ising saying, guys, we need to defensive rebound. But I really think that a big part of those missed layups is the shot blocking of Justin Blevins.
Now 4 fouls on Jason Eberhardt, and he'll come out of the game. Jason Eberhardt's father was an NAIA All-American at Toccoa Falls College in Georgia. So the bloodlines run deep on this Covert team.
Definitely the most improved player is Eberhardt for Covert. Garbage man really does a lot of work inside.
Blevins back in the game. But Covert forces yet another turnover. Nathan Fricky to Scoop Woods. Covert perhaps thinking about eating some clock. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Marion. 4:41 to play in the ball game. And for the season for both of these teams, it'll be a happy ride home for one of them.
You know what might be a good idea right now? Just pull it out and make Marion play some man-to-man defense. Only 4:30 to go in this game.
One of Covert's strengths all year has been their ability to do just that, to force the opponents to foul them. And one of the sources of pride for this Covert team is that they have led in free throws attempted almost all season, and even on the road where you're not as likely to get calls. Jordan Richter has fouled out of the game, so his season ends 4.5 minutes before he'd like it to end.
And a big part of the problem, Jordan Richter, who is a very solid post scorer, only 2 for 3, didn't really get a lot of work inside.
You can see the emotion on his face because that concludes his high school career. Richter, one of the few seniors on the floor this morning.
Looks like he may be able to shave now.
Yep. And Scoop Woods misses both free throws. So Marion's allowed to hang around. Trevor Ising pulls up. His shot won't go. Tapped away by Covert, and they're looking to run. Quick hands by the Eagles. They retain possession. Odell Madden working down the lane. Rebound to Steve Yoel, who has entered the game.
All Covert has
man pass. Sorry, Tim.
All Covert has to do is pull it out, and they'll win this game. They don't need shots right now. They have plenty of points. Just pull the ball out, put it in their guards' hands, and they win.
What happened to the defense? The Bulldogs are out of gas, it looks like.
I think both these teams are tired. Hey, kids go out and play every single day, whether it's in their backyard or on the playground, but you cannot replicate the kind of energy that a game takes. They can play from morning until night, and they will not be as tired as they will in this setting.
10-point lead still for Covert. Marion will look to slice into that a bit when we come right back.
Welcome back to the Breslin. We hope you're enjoying the action as much as this blue and gold fan. On Saturday night, our basketball marathon concludes when the Pistons visit the Golden State Warriors. Pistons pregame starts things at 10 o'clock, followed by game action with Fred McLeod and our great Spartan friend Gregory Kelser. Pistons Warriors tonight on Fox Sports Net.
You guys have put that little rivalry thing behind you, have you? You and Greg?
Well as the Spartans have done, I've had to accept a few things. And so, yeah, we get along great. I love Greg Kelser.
He's the best. Trevor Ising takes it inside. Just the second field goal for Trevor Ising, who's kind of struggled under the pressure of the Covert Bulldogs.
Trevor Ising. That could be a term. He Trevorized them.
Very good. He's just a junior. He'll be back for more basketball. His brother is the best player to have come out of Marion.
Yeah, you're talking about Tyler Ising, who plays at Alpena Community College. Last year, Tyler Ising, 38 points versus Western Michigan Christian in the semis. It was the game they lost. And his brother says that the older Tyler is just such a great player. I'm sure he's been beat up in the backyard by his brother.
Yeah.
It's a common theme here. Little sibling rivalries.
Scoop Woods is hammered inside. And he'll head to the free throw line with under 2.5 to play.
Marion foul 4. Ising is scored. 10-point foul. At the line, 34.
Scoop Woods 5'10" and 175. He's another part of the proud tradition of basketball for the Bulldogs.
Very clutch player. Sydney made a huge triple in their big game this year versus Gary. Makes big plays all the time.
He missed his 2 previous free throws, comes right back and hits both of those, and it's again a 10-point lead, and Jeff Blevins. Nice inside to his brother. Wow! Scoop Woods snuffed Justin Blevins. But the Eagles get the putback, and again, it's an 8-point lead.
Now you notice that Marion is forced to come out and play man. That's not a strength of this team.
See the emotion of Trevor Ising. I think you want to keep the ball in play if you can after you make the block, but ball's out of bounds to Covert.
And you wonder if Scoop will take the role of Phil Ford, the North Carolina point guard many moons ago, spread the court and let him go to work.
Attack, 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 says Covert. Woods to Matt. He gets the bucket. And it's back to a 10-point lead. Timeout called by the Marion Eagles with 1:45 to play. Marion went 19-6 this year. There was a nice gesture the last time out prior to this one by Dale Ising. He kind of smiled at all of his kids coming back off the floor, as if to say, no worries, we've still got this one in hand.
And there's Tyler Ising playing for Alpena Community College. His brother Trevor said he's the best player ever at Marion. 38 points last year in the district finals. Great career, and he's continuing. And the significance, a kid from Marion just playing college basketball. I mean, he's got to be just a legend in his hometown.
Doing some coaching, it looks like, right behind the Marion bench. This is just the first of 4 great games to come here on Fox Sports Net. We bring you Championship Saturday at noon. It's the Class C tilt between Kalamazoo Christian and Charlevoix. And then Josh Lewin will be alongside our friend Tim McCormick for the Class A and B games. At 4 o'clock, it's Kalamazoo Central against Pontiac Northern, and then Crockett and Coopersville at 7:30 from the Breslin Center in East Lansing.
How about if I take the role of center and Josh can be my point guard?
Well, yeah, yeah. He's not going to be your power forward. We know that. Josh is, well, he's short of stature, but in our hearts, he's a big man. Inside, Trevor Ising. Ball is knocked out of his hands. Steve Yoel gets the putback. And here we go. It is crunch time now for the Eagles as they apply a bit of full court pressure.
Steve Yoel has really contributed with the power game here. Last 2 baskets.
Now you'd think that Covert would want to pull back a little bit. But Scoop Woods, perhaps because he's a sophomore, perhaps just because he's Scoop Woods, takes it right to the basket. Ball's turned over, however. And here come the Eagles, looking to cut their deficit to 6, or perhaps 5.
Watch the quick shot.
Got it! Jeff Blevins with another long bomb.
Hey, I was going to say watch the quick shot, but he shot it too quick. That kid's got some range on his game.
Marion's got to play D now. Down 5. Nathan Fricky is heard from as he takes it inside and gets the bucket. So it's back to a 7-point lead as we're under a minute to play. Jeff Blevins to the basket. Offensive foul against Jeff Blevins. Trying perhaps a little too hard to make things happen.
Marion foul 33.
Notice how far out that you had an idea he was coming. Around the three-point line, he started dribbling, and I really believe that Cordell Madden was getting bored waiting for him. He never moved for about 4 or 5 seconds.
Great defense by Cordell Madden, who, remember, is only a junior. So Covert, you would expect, will be back again next year. At least to be heard from come playoff time.
Timeout.
Marion has to take a timeout. With 38 and 7/10 of seconds still to be played in the Class D Championship game.
Many times you say that, you know, they're down 8 or 10 or 12 points. There's no way they can come back, but with a team that can make threes, that deficit can evaporate in a hurry. There's the long range by Blevins. How does he answer it? Well, he comes right back, and how do you cover that? Very difficult to get out there and check a guy who's 35, 40 feet from the hole. Notice the quick release, though. Bam, it's gone.
But they are still 3 possessions away from the lead, at least. And are there 3 possessions left in 38 seconds?
He had a wonderful career. Great story overcoming adversity. And when you look at the game summary, down at the bottom of your screen, the biggest number is points off of turnovers right there. 23 is a huge number, and that has been the downfall so far for Marion.
6 steals in the game by Scoop Woods to go along with his 13 points and 9 assists. A complete player, a complete championship game, which is not yet complete.
Do you think that Scoop Woods was maybe told during the last timeout that we do not need any more points to win this game?
You would think. Trevor Isaac pushing the pace. Marion needs buckets in a hurry. And that means Blevins has to force. And the ball was partially blocked. And now out of bounds to Covert. With 25 seconds left in the championship game. The Eagles have to create a turnover. And Covert's a pretty good free throw shooting team. Steve Yoel with a foul to stop the clock. And with a quick hand extended to Derek Watkins.
Now, as expected, from talking to players and coaches of both teams, the heart and character is really stressed by everybody I talk to. 2 teams that play hard, they play together, they've overcome adversity, and we saw a team that really got off to a quick start, and then another team that wouldn't quit in the second half. It was a good game both ways.
And remember, these are Class D schools. These are the smallest schools in the state, so these kids come from communities where the school is the story. They are the game in town. And it is perhaps one of the best aspects of high school sports.
And at the Class D level, what you usually see are teams that don't have a lot of depth.
This way, this way!
Ball out of bounds to Marion. They'll retain possession with a last gasp that's barely that. 7 seconds to play.
Let the party for the Bulldogs begin.
Dale Ising clearing his bench to give some of his kids a chance to at least say they played in the championship game, and for those that did play, to receive the applause and cheers from their hometown fans. Justin Blevins will be back. Big hug from Jordan Richter. Be a lot of tears and a lot of eyes on this day. There's only 4 champions will be crowned. Jeff Blevins tries the 3. That's off the iron. Foul against Jim Pivovar. And he'll get the chance to at least get in the scoring books in a championship game with 0.6 of a second to play. Pivovar's a senior. And this is a nice gesture by Dale Ising to make sure that the kids that should play do play. Timeout called on the floor. 57-48 for Covert. Looking to add to state titles. 65, 66, 71, and 82. They reached the finals in 1990 and did so again, and it looks like they're going to bring a state championship back to Covert with them, led by the play of Sydney Scoop Woods. Big game on the semifinal against Rogers on Thursday here at the Breslin Center. 11 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. 4 of 16 from the floor, 4 of 6 from the line today, 5 rebounds. And he's, I think, more his presence than his numbers, really, that are the big strength of his game. You can see by the smile there, obviously the game's in hand, but he has that, well, that swagger, that confidence out there, and amazing that he's only a sophomore.
Really a developed stat line. How do you like the 6 steals? 5 rebounds. He gets the ball around. Great leadership on this Bulldog team. 13 of their 15 players are members of the junior ROTC program. So when you talk about the outstanding leadership that they possess, really no surprise when you know their background.
And Covert empties the bench as well for the final ticks of the clock. Entering the game is Jerron Burton and Marquise Allen. Felicie Woods, known to his teammates as Flip, Brandon Burnett, and Cedric Miller. They'll all get the chance to be on the floor at game's end. Jim Pivovar tries to enter or finish his high school career with a happy memory. 1 free throw still to be shot in the last dregs of the Class D Championship game that will be won by the Covert Bulldogs, concluding a season that will see their final record at 24-3. Pivovar gets the roll. Congratulations to him. Just the inbounds to be done, and that is your ball game.
Please clear off the floor. Final score, the Bulldogs of Covert 57, the Eagles of Marion 49.
The last bit of coaching done by Dale Ising. Let's go courtside. Shireen Saski. Shireen?
Thanks, John. And I'm here with Coach Cornett, who's got to be just one of the happiest men alive. I know after the semifinals, it was a very emotional win for you. How does this one compare?
Oh, they're all been big games. You know, we played Tri-Unity, then Lenawee, then Rogers. We played 1, 4, and then 2 last night. And this team deserved to be. Marion deserved to be in the state finals. They had a great team. They played their hearts out. We're just so thankful. The Lord has blessed us all year. He's given us favor in many games, double overtime games, triple overtime games, and even tonight when Marion made a big run, he gave us favor again. We're just so thankful, so happy.
Is it fair to say this might be a dream come true for you?
It's a dream, just unbelievable, dream come true. We don't play in a conference, so the state tournament is our regular season. We call our 20-game regular season our exhibition season, and I'll tell you, this is the only thing we have to play for, and this is always our goal. Covert is a great community. They're a basketball community, and this is their expectation, and we met it this year.
Coach, congratulations. Covert, the new state champions, their 5th title. John?
All right, Shireen. Sam Cornett wears his emotions on his sleeve. He sobbed like a baby after the semifinal win. There is sobbing yet to be done today.
Mitchell.
Well, eventually this will be a happy memory for the kids from Marion High School. Not so today, because they got this close to a Class D championship, and they're receiving their runner-up recognition. Let's join public address announcer Eric Offersen.
And 40, Jordan Richter. And accepting the runner-up trophy in Class D, Coach Dale Ising. Congratulations to the Eagles of Marion on an outstanding season. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the 2001 Michigan High School Athletic Association Class D champions, the Bulldogs of Covert. First of all, the individual medals. Number 10, Cedric Miller. Number 14, Margise Allen. '22, Earl Jackson. '24, Justin Mahone. '30, Juan Gordon. '42, Deron Burton. '44, Brandon Burnett. '50, Felice Woods. '52, Kevin Lewis. '54, Fred Scales.
Wait a minute, Nate. Tip or belong to the bench.
Number 12, Nathan Fricky.
Tip at 12:20.
20, Derek Watkins. '32, Jason Eberhardt. '34, Sidney Woods. And number 40, Cordell Madden. And accepting the championship trophy, Coach Sam Cornett. Congratulations to the Bulldogs of Covert High School, the 2001 Class D Boys Basketball Champions.
They were the number 2 champion, or number 2 team in the state coming into the championship run. They're number 1 right now. Covert Bulldogs, the Class D champs.